And you mentioned he hasn't spoken out about a border protection officer being shot in the face in the city. Of course he hasn't, because he stands for open borders. He stands for allowing illegal alien criminals and criminals of all kinds to run free.
We're talking about the serious people in this administration, with stark contrast to the ridiculous people running the Democrat-run cities. Here's Karoline Leavitt, you know that she is the White House spokesperson, and here she is going after Mamdani for not commenting on what we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes or so.
You know, Karoline, we have not heard from Mamdani, who is running for mayor in New York, and President Trump has basically indicated that he's going to stay out of this, at least for now, this mayor's race. But he's a New Yorker at heart, and we know that he wants the city to be safe. You know, will he feel the need to speak out more forcefully and to endorse somebody in this race to try to keep Mamdani out?
Well, the president reserves the right to weigh into the race if he chooses. He has weighed in with respect to saying that New Yorkers absolutely cannot afford to elect this communist who is running. And you mentioned he hasn't spoken out about a border protection officer being shot in the face in the city. Of course he hasn't, because he stands for open borders. He stands for allowing illegal alien criminals and criminals of all kinds to run free. He's talked about doing away with prisons. He's talked about and supported the movement to defund our police and the brave men and women in New York City and in every city across this country who put their uniform on every day to protect their fellow Americans and have a right to go home to their families every single night, just like any other law-abiding citizen in this country. That individual certainly would be a disaster for New York, but I think it's quite telling, Martha, that he was here in Washington, D.C. just last week meeting with some of the Democrat Party's top elected officials, many of whom have endorsed him. The Democrat Party is fully embracing communism, and that's where we are in America today. Not this White House, not this president. This president is fully embracing common sense. He stands with our law enforcement. He demands law and order. He wants a secure border, a booming economy, and capitalism for all. Those are the values that America was built on, and those are the values that President Trump is going to protect.
Yeah, she's right. Again, do you realize how insane this situation is? The guy who's basically the only savior for New York City now is Eric Adams, the very guy who put in the policies that we are now seeing the results of. And he's the savior because the other guy, Mamdani, is a true lunatic. But don't take my word for it. Take his word for it. This is from 2020, talking about Mamdani, talking about the abolition of jails and the abolition of our, of course, racist criminal justice system.
Just zoom out and talk about what my thoughts on prisons are in general. And I think that if you look at the way that prisons are set up in our society, I would argue that they do not work. They do not make us safer. People do not come out of prison. You know, the issues that lead people to go into prison are not resolved by the institution. And then when they return from it, it is not something that is in the past. Oftentimes, prison actually exacerbates those issues. If we have an understanding that our criminal justice system is racist, which is quite a general understanding now, it seems to be shared by many, many people, then how can we simultaneously be investing in it as the way we both judge and determine the futures of so many people in our state?
Okay, first off, our criminal justice system is not racist. In front of every courthouse in America is Lady Justice, and she is blindfolded. That does not mean that there aren't individual racist people. And that also doesn't mean that different communities behave in different ways, leading to different outcomes and a series of other things. But this is what the left does. They flippantly just say something is racist. The system is racist. Systemic racism. Thus, what will we do? We will burn down the system.